Greetings, Mavericks and new viewers. Tonight, direct and live from the Maverick News Network World Studios. This is Maverick News with Rick Walker.
The Great Canadian Ostrich Massacre. Who is really to blame? The truth will shock you. We'll dig into that in just a moment.
Maverick News. Fighting for freedom. Greetings, brave Mavericks. Our quest for truth continues. We go beyond fake news. Together we expose propaganda. Together we pull others out of rabbit holes. We are maverick thinkers. We are all unique individuals, defenders of individual rights and freedoms, credible, trusted, grounded in reality. Maverick News, defending free speech, Donate at freedomreporters.com. Do it now. Tomorrow may be too late. Maverick News. The world is watching.
They were denied the money shot, but they came close and they got the next best thing. In fact, they got just about everything they were after out there, but they didn't quite get the money shot. What's the money shot? As a video journalist for years, as a photojournalist, as a journalist in general, I used to converse with other journalists in the field, real journalists who we'd talk to each other about getting the money shot. So there's if you understand what that means in terms of pornography, you'd understand what the money shot is. But in terms of journalism, it means getting the key shot, that capturing that moment while recording and for history a news event as it unfolds. In this case, what the activists at the Edgewood, BC open air biolab COVID research facility with the ostriches were hoping for was to live stream the bloody massacre of the ostriches in real time. They were denied that by the CFIA, the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, when the CFIA took control of the farm and cut the feed. They cut the cables to all the cameras they had set up all around the farm to record all of the activity that they knew would be taking place on the premises after the CFIA took control of the property and the ostriches in order to prepare for the inevitable cull of the ostriches, which had been infected with bird flu last December, almost a year ago now. See, because it was never really about the ostriches. It was about the photo op, the money shot. The CFIA knew this. The government knew this. That's why the CFIA set up all those hay bales, trying to create a visual obstruction. And then in the end, they pushed all the protesters back. They secured the area. They tried to prevent the protesters who had been flying drones overhead, who had been using extreme zoom lenses from locations further away, after being pushed off the property directly away from the area where the cull was going to take place. They were using extreme zoom lenses from elevated positions in mountainous areas to shoot into the pen where they knew the cull was going to take place. But then roads were blocked off when the cull was about to take place. The activists couldn't easily get access to some of those areas. They were driving around in the middle of the night trying to get access in order to get the money shot, with limited success. And the CFIA also knew that their best course of action, in order to spare the public from the horrific images associated with culling animals, which goes on every day in abattoirs, where cows are slaughtered, pigs are slaughtered, chickens are slaughtered. Do you want to see that before you go to McDonald's to order your McChicken or your Big Mac? People don't want to think about it. In our civilized society, it's an uncomfortable truth that our life comes from death. That's truth. Your milk doesn't come from a supermarket. It comes from a cow at a farm. The people living in the city slickers, don't think about it. They don't want to think about it. You don't want to think about where that milk comes from. Do you want to get underneath a cow and suck on the teat? There's a scene in a Star Wars movie where Luke Skywalker, one of the newer ones, grabs the teat of an animal and squirts the milk right into his mouth. I saw that on screen and it kind of grossed me out at the time, but that's the reality of milk. Now, if you live on a farm, your attitude to this stuff is maybe a little bit different because you're aware of the realities of where food comes from. But you live in a city where you get a burger at McDonald's, every single one looks the same because it comes down a production line. You don't think about where it came from. You just eat your Happy Meal. So watching animals being killed so you can eat, or watching animals being killed because of an avian flu outbreak, but you're being told maybe doesn't even exist. That's a little hard for people to stomach. Who wants to look at the blood? Well, the protesters wanted you to look at the blood because that would portray the government as pure evil. That's the truth. They were looking for the money shot. So the CFIA conducted the cull in darkness or semi-darkness, middle of the night, pushed the protesters back, trying to prevent them from getting the money shot. Because that's a shot that would be useful for years in order to just portray or shine a negative light on the government, because it's an uncomfortable or inconvenient truth that they're forcing people to look at. And then they spin this narrative around it that makes the government look, and you can debate whether the government is truly justified in doing this stuff, but because it is a controversial policy, the stamping out policy for the bird flu. Nevertheless, I'm just giving you the reality. This is how the activists were operating out there. This is what they really wanted. And was it really about the ostriches? I say no. And I have the receipts to back up that assertion. This is as close as they got to the money shot, and it's pretty darn good. I got to give them credit in this respect. They went to great lengths, took huge strides to get that money shot, or everything else that they could. This is the best thing they came up with after the fact. When daylight came, elevated position, they finally got an imagery of the pen where the cull took place, and you can see the carcasses in the field. Some video, there is video out there of this. Then this is still image. And sensitive people, city slickers in particular, like myself, don't like to look at that stuff. I learned a long time ago in journalism that people care more about animals than they do about people. Now, you take those animals, you give them names, you portray them as pets, even though they were actually lab animals and were previously used for food production and were slaughtered for people to eat. And people really care. I told you a story before about dogs, frozen dogs in a dumpster at a truck stop. Years ago, I did a story about it, and we showed images of those dogs on television, and the switchboard lit up. People didn't like it. They freaked out. This is powerful stuff, especially from a propaganda perspective, or it's useful for information warfare, and there's some truth in it. But there's little truth in pure emotion. And that's what we were getting out of the farm. And certainly we have not been getting true transparency or true honesty from the farm. The CFIA, Canadian Food Inspection Agency, and the federal government of Canada is being blamed for the method of slaughter being chosen in the end, which is where the government brought in, or the CFIA brought in, marksmen, sharpshooters, to cull the flock of, we don't know how many birds because the farm had trouble accounting for them. I still have a lot of questions about the actual numbers of birds that were at that farm, how many were there to begin with, how many did we end up with in the end, and that's also an area of uncertainty that I think deserves maybe even still to be addressed. Started with about 500, then about 400, then about 300, now maybe 200 or less, and all these crazy stories, lies, I would say, about the birds being disposed of, killed prematurely in defiance of the Supreme Court of Canada stay order, and reports out there saying that the birds are actually being liquefied, turned into liquid, killed, chopped up, liquefied, put into dumpsters, and taken away. And yet I know that's a lie because I just showed you the picture where they were saying all the birds are disappearing. Do you remember we went through a couple of weeks of that kind of narrative? Here, I'll show you again. So this is their money shot, or the money shot, or is the best facsimile thereof. Carcasses laying in the field. We were told, and we have video evidence to support the assertion that hundreds of bullets were fired to cull these ostriches on the night of the Great Canadian Ostrich Massacre. Well, if most of the birds had already been killed and transported away in big blue bins over a couple of weeks, and they were showing us video of what was supposedly happening, why did they have to fire so many shots? Why were all these shots fired in the middle of the night? Where did all those carcasses come from? I thought they were already dead. They were lying. Why did they need so many dumpsters prior to that? For liquefied birds, if you liquefy them, it's like garbage compaction. You don't need that many dumpsters, like dozens and dozens of dumpsters for liquefied bird remains. In any event, pretty clear that They have not been truthful or honest on many levels out of that farm right from the very beginning. I told you before that, the farm engaged in COVID research, no permits, flying under the radar. They were looking for profit, looking for a way to survive during the pandemic when their business of selling the ostriches as food was falling apart because the abattoirs in the area were not able to process their birds. They couldn't get them to market during the lockdown period of the pandemic. Their business was falling apart. They were in financial trouble, so they pivoted entirely to research, although they had been involved, I guess, in some various forms of research prior to that. But then they went all in on this COVID research where they were started injecting the birds repeatedly with COVID antigens, working with this, I want to call him a quack, honestly, this scientist at this little university in Japan who is working with the antigens to artificially, not naturally, artificially induce the production of COVID antibodies in ostriches present in eggs. They were selling the eggs ultimately to the researchers. They also got involved with a lab out in Montreal, documented that for you, showed that to you here on the program. People don't want to hear this stuff, but it's all true, 100% verified, attributed, showed you the documents. And what was this really about? It was about cashing in, trying to make money. That's all this farm has ever been about. It's a business, was from day one, all the way back to the 1990s, when it was first established as a food production farm. And also, even in the early days, they were involved in research with scientists at the University of British Columbia doing selective breeding, effectively a form of eugenics for ostriches in the earliest days. But man, they weren't talking about that after they kind of got, their professional media manager out there, Jeff Gaudry, to really steer them very effectively. And hats off to him for doing a great job on this information warfare campaign. Extremely effective. Congratulations, Jeff, on a successful information warfare campaign out at the Edgewood, BC Universal Ostrich Farm Open Air Biolab. Selective truth is not truth. You can call me a liar all you want, but I've got the receipts. They just stopped talking about this stuff. I've got the interviews with Katie Pasitny, Karen Esperson, both talking about injecting the birds, about selling the birds for food. They've talked about it openly, and credit to them for being honest, truthful, transparent about it in the beginning. But then as these political activists and the professional social media manager came on board and they began to direct the narrative, they didn't talk about that anymore. See, because from the beginning, the farm was never really following any rules. They never followed any damn rules out there. Therein lies the problem. And therein lies where the blame really lies. This is me editorializing, just to make this very clear. This is my opinion, and I'm entitled to it, and I'm going to share it with you because I think it's very valid. It's a very valid point. They can point their fingers at the CFIA all they want. They can point their fingers at the Canadian government all they want. But the truth is, the method of slaughter is the fault of the farm. This whole thing is the fault of the farmers. This all could have been prevented by the farmers. The birds didn't have to be shot. They were shot because of the farmers. 100% didn't have to go down this way at all. What are you talking about, Rick? You're so heartless. No, I'm not. Nobody wants to see animals killed for no reason. And certainly we want to see animals treated humanely. I'm very much about that. But for the farm owners to sit there, as they have over these past couple of days, freaking out, breaking down in hysterical theatrics at the fence, screaming, "Stop!" crying their eyes out 1 minute and then dancing the next, flashing their breasts. It's a little bit rich. And I'm personally, as a Canadian, offended at the way that this whole thing has been conducted, because this has been truly an assault on our country. And that's really what is at the heart of all of this. This is all about the 51st state and breaking up Canada by creating more and more disruption in order to smear the government, to undermine your trust in all institutions, from the government itself to the RCMP to the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. And that's why Katie Pasitny is out there has been saying, this is now ground zero for change in Canada, because that's what this has always been about. It's never been about the damn ostriches, because they've never followed the rules. That's why they're to blame. First of all, they never took enough precautions with their birds. So, and because they were exposing them to antigens and getting who knows what kind of outcome, it was unpredictable. They were involved in experimentation on those birds. They became sick numerous times, at least twice that we're aware of. Prior to being infected with the bird flu, they were also infected with a Pseudomonas illness, which is the result usually of some sort of immune response deficiency. Well, what would cause the birds to become immune deficient or vulnerable to that kind of illness? Experimentation would be the first thing I would think of. And they had a die-off of birds at that time. Then you get the bird flu comes along on at least once, maybe more than one occasion. In fact, we know that those birds had been exposed prior to that because of test results that had been done like years ago. Truth. The birds got sick because the farmers just let them run around. These are from Africa, by the way, these ostriches. And then they leave them outside all the time in the elements, in the winter, in the cold, freezing. We know that sometimes they would get injured in the winter, sliding into fences, getting injured. There's documentation of that. And then you wonder why they got sick, exposed to wild birds. They never secured those birds. They never prevented interaction of any kind with wildlife. That's on the farm. The birds got sick because they were allowed to be exposed to bird flu. Then after they were sick, they tried to hide the fact that they were sick. They didn't want the government to find out because they just wanted to let the birds suffer. See how many died, see how many lived, and hope for the best. And that's what they were trying to do. Ultimately, 69 died out of their flock. That's a lot of dead birds, especially for ostriches. Then they tried to hide it up and bury them. CFIA gets a tip from somebody out there, show up, they find out what's going on. See, they weren't following the rules again. They were externalizing the risk, letting the disease spread, affecting other farmers. And there have been other bird flu outbreaks since this incident over the past year in Edgewood. It has affected other farms. There's 5 out in Manitoba right now. There was another one in BC. That affects other farmers. Did it spread from that particular farm? Difficult to prove. Hard to know. They didn't give a damn about the other farmers at the time. They only cared about themselves. And what were they really involved with? What was that COVID research about? What did it really result in? Nothing really of any real value. Hair growth tonic is what the guy out in Japan ended up producing. Skin creams. talked about sticking ostrich antibodies up your nose. Oh, and by the way, the most, I guess, exciting innovation that they came up with was to produce masks with ostrich antibodies in them that would glow if exposed to COVID. This is the antibody research that was actually done out there, not bird flu research. And it was about COVID. So they don't talk about the COVID side. They hadn't been for months because that doesn't sit well with a lot of people in the public right now. So it's all just been about the bird flu issue because that's what the CFIA has been focused on with regard to the cull, because that's why they want to cull the birds. Why they did ultimately cull the birds was exposure to bird flu and possible spread and threat to other farms, not humans so much, but farms. It was about that. But the research that was done, they were involved with, was about COVID. And they wanted to produce these masks. Well, what good would the masks be? Well, they would glow. Then you'd know if you were exposed to COVID. This is what the farm was involved with. What happens if your mask glows? You're walking around, you're wearing this mask on your face, and then it glows. You probably aren't even aware. Well, what good is that until you take it off and you look at it yourself? But you're out in public. You've got this mask on, right? And then the ostrich antibodies become activated. It glows like a great big, I don't know, red alert on your freaking face. So what, the COVID police can then like tackle you at Walmart or Canadian Tire and drag you off to the COVID jail? Which? That's what they wanted to produce. That's what the researcher in Japan was working on with the antibodies that the farm was producing. And yet the people out there at the farm who have been protesting all this time, they've been against that kind of stuff, against the mandates, against the masks. It makes no freaking sense. Makes no sense. Save the ostriches. F Trudeau. F Carney. It's just a mindless, singular focus, but that's effective propaganda. Get people engaged emotionally, give them a cause, and get them jacked up. Get them activated, turn them into activists, even radicalize them. Oh, and there's been some radical behavior, to be sure. What do you like? Oh, you think I'm making this crap up about the masks? There's an article on the World Economic Forum website about it. We've done interviews about it, and they tried to get a company out in British Columbia at the time, which had government contracts to produce masks. Breathe Medical to produce these masks infused with ostrich antibodies. You're making it up. You're lying. Rick, you stop lying about all that bullshit. I'm not lying. I've run this before. I'm going to run it again because I'm tired of people calling me a liar. This is the chief financial officer of the company. It's no longer in business because, of course, after the pandemic, the market for a lot of this kind of product dried right up. And the government contracts dried up. And when the government money went away, this business shut down because it was all about, at the time, cashing in on government grants, COVID grants. The money was flowing like crazy. They were looking for solutions, stuff to make the public feel better. And of course, I'm sure there was a lot of corruption involved too. You're seeing it even now, still talking about it down in the US. It was in every country, from including Japan, including the United States, and certainly including Canada. Now, I'm not saying that anything untoward was going on here at this company. In fact, quite the opposite. I think these guys were doing everything above board. And then the farm owners showed up on their front doorstep of Breathe Medical, and there were meetings that took place, and there was even an intent to purchase set up with the farm and the company, the mask company. but it never, ever came to fruition because they simply didn't have the science to back up their claims that they had some sort of a, magic bullet for COVID and that these masks were actually going to work. Here's an interview that I did before with Justin Singh, former chief financial officer of Breathe Medical.
Hello.
One moment. It's a little bit frozen. Here we go. Hello. Who am I
Hello.
speaking? Hello. Hi there.
Hi. How's it going? Who's this?
My name is Rick Walker. I'm out in Ontario. Is this Breathe Medical Manufacturing?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Breathe Medical Manufacturing. Wow, that's been out of business for a while.
Oh, they're not in business anymore.
No, not even at all. Yeah.
Oh,
Are you looking for someone there?
Well, I'm looking for. I understand they were manufacturing, I guess, medical masks with infused with ostrich antibodies.
No, yeah, I was part of that world at one point. Yeah, they talked about it at one point, but it never ever happened.
I see. Yeah, I'm a journalist out here in Ontario. I've been covering this Universal Ostrich Farm thing. Yeah, pretty weird.
Yeah, I know about that.
Weird story.
It is a weird story. I actually know that farm. That was the farm we were going to use. Yeah.
Why didn't they do it? I guess probably because they didn't have like regulatory approvals in place and so on.
That's right. I can tell you exactly why. Like, it was COVID. They had never done it before. There was no Health Canada approval on anything that they were claiming at the time. There were some studies from overseas or something like that they were talking about. But ultimately, like, how safe do we all feel about spraying stuff on fabrics that are going to be on people's faces, right? So.
Right. Yeah.
It
seems very like a real stretch to me to make those kinds of claims. And it looked like the company, from everything I'm seeing, they were very focused on making sure they were in compliance with standards and approvals and producing a quality product.
Breathe?
Yes. Yeah.
The Ostrich Farm.
No, the Breathe.
Yeah.
They've got like certifications on like N95 masks and NIOSH respirators and so on. But anyway,
that's right. Yeah, we did all that stuff, and then we had to just shut her down. And the government didn't want to keep it going anymore, so it's been out of business for at least a couple of years.
I see. I thought they were still in business because there was this letter of intent that was filed in court, and your letter of intent to purchase the antibodies, which I guess just never actually ended up happening.
That's right. Yeah, never ended up happening yet.
All right. Sorry, what was your name? Who am I speaking with, by the way? Because this number.
Yeah. So it's probably still on the website. They were kind of getting it taken down. My name is Justin Singh. I was the chief operating officer there, so oversaw the whole operation at one point.
I see.
But ultimately, the owners just couldn't get any deals to get to place with the government that they had stated that were going to be in place for 5 to 10 years. That never happened. So then we just had to shut it down.
I see.
Couldn't get any procurement outside of COVID.
The whole thing out there at that farm right now seems very strange to me. How did you guys get connected with the farm?
They showed up. They showed up at the factory claiming all of these things that could really help aid the fight against COVID. So they came to seek this out, which they were very close to, the location-wise, to where we were going to manufacture in Kelowna.
Yeah, but
so that, I believe that farm's not very far away.
Yeah,
a couple hours.
But in the end, they just couldn't prove any of that because they just didn't have the proper studies.
Yeah, and Health Canada made it very well known to us that it would be stuck in research for a long, long, long time before we could ever get it approved to be used.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well,
yeah. It's pretty aggressive of them to be claiming all those things without any Health Canada.
Well, for credit,
studies
I heard the one lady on another stream, and I did speak to her, Katie Pasitny, and she was on another show saying that you could prevent measles with ostrich antibodies, and I can't find even one study related to that.
No, we couldn't find much either, but they were just under the impression that these ostriches were able to fight off all different types of diseases and bacterias and viruses, and it had to do with their genetic makeup and antibodies that they carried. And I think there's a lot of assumptions to their theory, right? So costs a lot of money and time to get those types of scientific studies done, right? So I don't know if you've ever met them. They're just kind of countryside farmers, right? So
Yeah.
they're definitely far from being Harvard research students or any of that kind of stuff, right? So
Yeah. I guess you've been kind of taking note of what's going on out there. It's
yeah,
seems very political to me more than scientific at this point.
and you would think so when all the names that you're seeing are all involved all of a sudden, right? So
Yes. Is
an
there
interesting thing.
Yeah. So as I follow this story along, is there any advice or direction you might give me to try to make sense of what's going on out there?
Oh, any advice? Nah, I don't know. It's just you know the old theory, like it's very hard to convince people of something that they've just made real. I think the owners of the farm just truly believe in stuff that's not scientific, right? So
Yeah. Like to have a lot of people out there who believe viruses don't exist.
that's right. So there'd be more part of that. COVID is a this and COVID is a that kind of theory based stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. We would have been using ostrich antibodies many years ago if it really worked or was scientifically proven. Sure,
Yes.
everybody studied everything, right? So
Yeah,
just
exactly. Well,
like a
listen,
small little farm that had, I think at that time, like 10 or 15 ostriches.
they
I
only
think
had
they got
10 or
100 now
15
or something.
ostriches at that time.
Yeah, there wasn't very many. There wasn't this 100 or 200 they got now or whatever they got.
Well, they say like 400. Well,
Is it that many? Shoot.
that's what they say, but I don't see that many out there.
Yeah, we went to the farm. It was, well, maybe there was more than 15. Maybe there was less than 50, but there was no like Jurassic Park run around of ostriches. Like there was not hundreds of them.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, there seems to be discrepancy or confusion over. Well, there just seems to be an accounting issue. Like, they can't even really.
No,
How
I
many?
think that boils down to who you're dealing with as the ownership there, right? So
Yeah.
there's
And the other issue is it just doesn't seem, as CFIA has pointed out in the court documents, uh, they're not really running a facility that meets the standard for any kind of real research.
that's right.
Uh,
That's right. That's for sure.
and
Or
ultimately, like,
I don't even know if it's up to standard for any type of practice outside of just like, you know, some type of, personal farm that they're running, right? Like I don't know if it's certified for anything. So I
that's
don't know. I haven't been
exactly
there. I haven't been there since 2020, right? So it's been a long time.
yeah.
Yeah, like I don't even think they can even retail or sell off those ostriches or do anything with anything. There's no certificates or licensing to do anything on that farm. But who knows?
It,
I just caught wind of it and I was like, oh shoot, I've been on that farm. I know those people.
yeah. So when they're sitting there saying these birds are worth, I think they're saying they have a value of 7,500. CFIA is offering to pay them like $3,000 a pop, but I don't see that they're even worth anything because they've been injected with these antigens that they say they've been getting from, well, multiple sources to research COVID. Plus, they've been infected with bird flu.
Yep.
How do you sell those for food at this point? You can't. I don't
You
know.
cannot.
Yeah, you can't.
Cannot do that. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, it's one of this again, right? The value is in what the market says, not what you think, right? So
That's exactly right. And whether you can even sell them to anybody legally, as
that's the biggest thing, right? Is if you do want to get some type of recoup on investment, you got to have all the right things in place to sell it. You can't just go sell it. You can't put them on Facebook Marketplace and sell them, right? So
well, they do.
they're live animals.
They do.
Well, I know they do. That's why I said that. Yeah, they're interesting people, right? So they
Yeah.
probably don't live by the law very closely. So
No rules out there. That's really what it comes down to. Yeah.
yeah, that's why they live way out in the sticks there, right? So
Yeah.
not
Well-
many people pop in there, and not many people bother them there. so they can probably do what they want with lots of time. And I don't know where they have their money from. They don't strike me as very wealthy people.
Well, there's some questions about the farm ownership, large debts that they've accumulated,
Right.
legal disputes over the land ownership or the property ownership,
Yeah.
which just adds new layers of intrigue to this mystery.
Yeah. That's not surprising, that's for sure.
Well, yeah. So I'm with Maverick News is the my news platform, and as I say, I'm a journalist out here in Ontario, but I've been following this story out of the ostrich farm. I'm surprised that other media has not, taken note of the COVID research, the real issues surrounding all of this. It's just
Yeah.
save the birds, save the birds. It's become an emotional thing.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, that's what you got to tack onto, right? Is what's going to actually grab some interest. No one's going to care about the other stuff.
Yes, that's exactly right. But when you're dealing with the bird flu and the spread of the
Totally.
disease and other chicken operations, I think that
That's
they're
right.
putting other farms in jeopardy while they're claiming to be out there fighting for farmers, but it seems to be
Yep.
upside down.
Yeah. Yeah. It's strange. Well, all the best to you.
Well, thank you very much for your comments and your information. I really, really appreciate you providing some clarity on this for me today. Very, very helpful.
No problem. Thank you.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye. Yeah. And I'm going to say something else. Those birds were shot, and the farm owners might as well have pulled the trigger themselves. Every time. It's their fault that those birds were shot. I'm not heartless. That's the truth. The CFIA, when they order a cull, they give the farmer, the farm operation, the opportunity to cooperate and participate and even conduct the cull on its own or on their own. That was the case as well with Universal Ostrich Farm. When the cull order was issued, the farm could have conducted the cull on their own. Now, we know from our interview with Katie that they preferred and always culled, or that they killed their birds using halal method when they sent them off to be slaughtered before sending them to market for food. Asked her about that. That's what she said. That was unexpected to me. Didn't know that. That was a very interesting fact. That is the method that I guess slitting the necks of the birds and letting them bleed to death is the method that the farm preferred to use when having the birds slaughtered for food. When the cull order was issued, the farm had the opportunity to participate, to collaborate, to cooperate, to have input into the method used that would have been used to cull those birds. The farm could have done it themselves using halal, I expect, if they wanted to, but they could have used any approved method that they so chose. Inject them with barbiturates so that they would die, in their sleep. They could have chosen any method. And if the farmers had been involved and had been cooperating with the CFIA, they could have maybe done it in a different manner by walking among them and injecting them the way that they did with the antigens. The birds trusted them. Karen said that they would just walk among the birds and inject them without the birds realizing what was going on when they were injecting them with the COVID antigens. They could have done the same thing with the lethal injections to cull the flock, but they weren't cooperating at all with the CFIA. From the moment they were trying to hide the bird flu outbreak until today, they have not cooperated. They were offered compensation. The property rights issue keeps coming up, and yet the truth is the farm was offered compensation for those birds. Instead, we get the narrative that the CFIA just went in there with the intent of destroying the family, taking all their property and giving them nothing. They were given the opportunity to have compensation for the birds. They were given the opportunity to choose the method of slaughter at the end of all of this, but they chose not to participate. Instead, becoming defiant. Not only did they do that, they turned it into a political protest on a scale that it's clearly one of the biggest and most extended political protests in Canadian history. Certainly not as, on par with, say, something like the Freedom Convoy in terms of numbers, but some of the same players involved, and an extended period of time went on for months. This whole thing has dragged out nearly 11 months to this point, and it's not over. Because they turned it into a political circus out there, and because some of the people had spoken openly about being defiant and even doing things that might be illegal, because we saw an assault on a woman with gasoline thrown on her house, a neighbor who was not happy with what was going on at the farm, as many in that community have not been happy. They don't want to talk about that lady having gasoline thrown on her, though, possibly even set on, potentially having been set on fire, which I guess would have been the intent behind the person assaulting her. She was also smashed in the face. Things got way out of hand out there, man. And because all that was going on, hundreds of police officers, I guess, had to go out there in order to keep people safe. Threats leveled against the Canadian Food Inspection Agency contractors and agents out there. People being doxxed, companies being doxxed, anybody associated with it. Attempts being made to cancel everybody. Online information warfare campaigns launched against anybody who says anything, against the narrative that went on out there. So because of all of that, that's why those birds were shot. That's truth. CFIA referred to the decision to have the birds shot as a last resort, because using other methods, I guess they decided it just wasn't practical. They had to do it in a way that was going to keep people safe, and also in a way that was going to minimize the public spectacle, and I would say even spare as much as possible the public from the graphic images that would have come forth had the cameras been left up, and that they had allowed this to be turned into a live streaming event, the live streaming event of the century for Canada, the photo op. That's why it was done the way it was done, because the protesters, the farmers, backed the government, the CFIA, into a corner, saying that they weren't given a voice, they weren't given due process, that the whole system is corrupt. And the reality of it is they were given every opportunity to put their arguments forward, to table their scientific research, to justify what they wanted in terms of an exemption, in this case, to spare the lives of the birds. And then the protests mounted and mounted and mounted. And they backed the RCMP, they backed the CFIA, they backed the government right into a corner to force their hand. And we got what we got. We got the birds being shot, which ultimately I think is what the protesters, maybe not the farmers themselves, because I think that they have been turned into pawns, useful tools, but at the same time, this is now their alternative business model, in my opinion. It's distasteful. It's exploitive. Those birds have been exploited on every single level. They forced the government to shoot those birds because they wanted the government to shoot the birds. They wanted a bloodbath because they wanted a photo op. A photo op that has resulted in, and even without the big money shot, they got everything else that they were hoping for. As a result, the live streamers who've been going out there have been building their channels like crazy. They've been pulling in the money like crazy, hundreds of thousands of dollars donated over this ridiculous manufactured story that I'm sitting here talking about tonight because it's just gained so much traction. And I'm one of the few voices out there offering up the other side of the story. Isn't it interesting that even the mainstream media and the the activist, I'll give them activist journalists out there, that their narrative is very much in line with most of what the mainstream media has been reporting. MSM a little bit more neutral, but still just going along with all these ostriches. They don't talk about the COVID research at all. It's too complicated, you see. You can spin a conspiracy theory around that if you want to, but it's really because, if not, at the core of it, it's just too complicated to get into all that nitty gritty and all the details about the COVID research. The inconvenient truth. Let's just give them a little bit of the truth and get people emotionally engaged. That'll drive a wedge. That'll make people more upset. I'm just telling you, man, this has been an opportunistic thing for people. It's been entirely political from the very beginning. And there's the other interesting thing, and I brought this up the other night. Yesterday, sorry, I wasn't here yesterday, but the night before, pointed out that this is really about 51st state stuff. This is about separating Canada, breaking the country up. And that is the common, honestly, because here's the thing. These protesters are out there. And again, what are we getting from them and from the farm? They're against, we know what they're against. They're against the CFIA. They're against the government. They're against the government. Stop this, save the ostriches. That was the goal. Didn't happen. That was never the goal. The protesters, we just know what they're against, but they're not telling you what their plan is. They kept saying, we have a cure. Not true. We have valuable antibodies that will save humanity. They have no studies to back that up. So they really have nothing. So just making these claims, and we need to study them. Well, what's your plan to study them? They don't have a plan. Where's your funding to study them? Don't have funding in place. They don't have a plan. What's their plan? Don't really know, don't really have one, don't really care. Just save the ostriches. For what? And then once they're saved, who's going to take care of them and for what purpose? You can't sell them for food. Honestly, they're not really valuable for research, as you heard in that interview that I just did, because they've already been used in one experiment for COVID. Now you want to use them for bird flu research, which you say you've already done, but you haven't, because you haven't really been honest and truthful with people. It's all BS. It's all bullshit. To quote a friend of mine, Rudy Bruce, who's been building his channel like crazy out there during his recent trip out to the Edgewood farm. We had him on the program, and he was concerned months ago when I pointed out to him all of this stuff about the crazy COVID research, which he was always against the masks. Now he's just ignoring all of that, and he's just right in lockstep with the rest of them out there and benefiting immensely from all the hits he's been getting and the big, the big clicks. But what's the one common denominator that runs through most of these streamers and most of the protesters, most of what's been going on out there? Canada as the 51st state, or Alberta independence, and or both. Here's Rudy. Shift the world. Jeffrey Rath. Carney elected PM Alberta, blah, blah, blah. Alberta and independence referendum in 2025. Interview with Rath. We're talking Alberta independence, sovereignty, and what it really means to take control of your future. Yeah. It always seems to come back to that, doesn't it? Well, how could that possibly be related to anything? It's absolutely related to everything. Because the whole point through all of this has simply been this, and this is what foreign governments do when they want to initiate warfare, fifth generation style warfare or color revolutions within a country, is you just fuel, fund, help along any group that disrupts society in the country that you're targeting. And you even get involved. Russia does it. China does it. The United States certainly does it. And in this case, there's a certain arm or component of the United States, MAGA, Trump, 51st state. It's been going on since Trump 1.0 and really was ramped up after he was ousted from office because he was running basically a shadow style government, convincing a lot of people that he was still the president, even through the Q movement, which is a big psyop. And we know some of the key players because we've talked about them right here on the program. This is not a conspiracy. Real people interviewed on the program, receipts delivered, interviews done, dots connected. We've now seen documented money being offered from the Trump administration to separatists in Alberta, a slush fund of $500 million. Who's been involved out at the farm politically from the United States? RFK Jr., Dr. Oz, and John Katzimatidis, billionaire, funder of Trump, now funder of the Ostrich Farm spectacle, circus. All comes back to that. Because the farm was in financial distress, because they're compromised. Easy pickings. And a great opportunity to spin up a narrative and a story in real time, to create political theater, to create reality programming through social media, to smear the government, to discredit the government again, to create disruption in society, to make it ripe for the pickings, to undermine trust, undermine confidence through fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Who's spreading the fear, uncertainty, and doubt? The activists themselves, the protesters. These are the tools of propagandists. These are the tools of foreign governments used today in order to initiate attacks without actually declaring war or going to war in a kinetic sense. This is fifth generation warfare. Hello. Welcome to 2025. See, if you're a superpower or if you're a smaller power and you're in opposition or you're trying to fight one way or the other, you don't just go straight for the cruise missiles. Trump doesn't do that. Trump uses other tools to conduct warfare. He uses the threat of military action. He uses the threat even of nuclear weapons, as he is today with Vladimir Putin in a verbal exchange back and forth. But really what he does is he uses tariffs, economic tools, sanctions, in order to exert financial pressure, leverage on countries that he wants to influence or even affect regime change. So down in Latin America right now, there's something political going on there to appease a certain segment of the MAGA movement, the ultra nationalists, I would say, in the United States, who really want to go to war with Mexico and certainly Venezuela and Maduro. But you see, this is the thing. Trump doesn't really want to invade. He's just bringing all this firepower off the coast of Venezuela. He's blowing up these boats to send a message. He's hoping, I think, to not have to use land forces. But if they do, I'll tell you this, it's going to be very, very messy. And this is related to the ostrich farm. And I'll get to that. It's going to get messy because Maduro just said 2 days ago that Venezuela and his administration, his military advisors, they've been studying the military tactics used in Vietnam against the Americans, so that you have a much smaller, weaker military force that went up against the Americans, and ultimately they were able to repel them. This is a lesson that has been taught many times through history. You go and look at Afghanistan when the Russians went in. They ended up leaving without achieving really anything because of the tactics used against the Russians at that time by the forces in Afghanistan. Hell, we went to war in Afghanistan. We're there for how many years? And then ended up leaving. And what was achieved? Oh, the U.S. left behind massive amounts of military gear for forces that may or may not have been created by the United States, depending on your choice of narrative and the history behind all of that. But everything gets kind of gray, not black and white, and very, very dark. And what's going on in Canada right now? Tariffs, going to war with Canada economically. Trump's at war with liberalism, at war, honestly, with the Liberal government. I don't think it would be much different, frankly, if there was a Conservative government in place, unless they bend the knee and give Trump whatever he wants behind closed doors. And what's going on out at the farm is absolutely related to all of this, because it's just the latest skirmish in an ongoing fifth-generation warfare campaign against our country to destabilize things, to get enough people, to get enough critical mass out there, people who are distrustful of the government, don't have any trust in the RCMP, don't have any trust in any of our institutions anymore, who believe that the country isn't even a real place, that Canada isn't a real country, to gin all of that up and portray Canada as an evil communist dictatorship, which it isn't. That is evil and just wants to kill ostriches for fun and to destroy the lives of people. And that is not true. Not to say that the government is innocent in all of this stuff. And I can tell you that the CFIA has done a lot of really stupid things over the years. I can attest to that. I've dealt with them going back decades from time to time. They don't always do the smartest of things. But the law is the law, the rules are the rules, and they are charged with keeping our food supply safe. Ultimately, that is what their objective is. How they go about doing things like that, that's open for debate and discussion. But I'm not sure that it's constructive, frankly, to throw feces on a CFIA office. Do I have that footage up here? I think I do, someplace. Let me story here. Kelowna CFIA office vandalized. Here it is here. Does this look like a peaceful protest to you? Isn't that what the Freedom Convoy was supposed to be about? Isn't that what these people say they're all about? And yet here it is. This is the result of what's been going on at the ostrich farm. Kelowna CFIA office vandalized with feces following ostrich cull. Canadian, this is the Castanet, Kelowna's home page, right here. Canadian Food Inspection Agency office in Kelowna was recently vandalized Sunday morning, the outside of the CFIA office building on Bredon Road. is covered in what appears to be a large amount of feces. The brown material is being smeared across the windows and door of the building, spelling out F blank blank KU. And it's also been rubbed onto the door handle and into the lock. A large pile sits at the base of the door and the window. Eggs also appear to have been thrown against the front window and at the CFIA sign. The vandalism is believed to have occurred Saturday night, and the mess remains as of 11 a.m. Sunday. The incident comes on the heels of the CFIA's cull of hundreds of ostriches at a farm in Edgewood last week. And just as a side note, yeah, that's because there were still ostriches there. They were not all killed in advance and liquefied in a horrific manner. Anyway, 10 months after an avian flu outbreak was discovered at the farm, farm owners have vehemently opposed the cull, trying to take the issue all the way to the Supreme Court of Canada. Farm supporters have been vocal online about their opposition to the CFIA and its employees, along with other contractors. You got the idea. And there's the pictures of the crap smeared all over the wall of the windows of the CFIA office, the local office. Well, there's an entry into constructive conversation and debate. Oh, and some people are loving that. Okay. They deserved it, Rick. Did they? If you don't want your birds to get shot, don't let them get sick. If you don't want your birds to get shot, maybe you could work within the rules and participate in being part of the solution instead of amplifying problems. If you don't want your birds to get shot and you want to be responsible, then you could have participated and chosen the cull method instead of pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. Because if you F around, sometimes you find out. And it ain't pretty. And I don't like it any more than anybody else. But yeah, sorry. This is on you.
You know, someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
Well, I think it's time we ask ourselves if we still know the freedoms that were intended for us by the Founding Fathers. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on Earth.
The entire world is watching.
Every dictator, every crazy dictator in the world is watching.
The world is watching. On TV.
The entire world is watching.
On social media.
But the entire world is watching, and yes, they are seeing what we have apparently bravely been willing to say that others are thinking.
Stand for freedom. Literally stand for freedom. Let's get this done. The entire world is watching.
We're at war with the most dangerous enemy that has ever faced mankind in his long climb from the swamp to the stars.
Maverick News. Maverick News. Maverick News.
Let me have more control of my own destiny.
The world is watching. Maverick News isn't just a news outlet, it's a community of truth seekers. Your donation at freedomreporters.com fuels our mission to report the stories that mainstream media won't touch. Thank you, Maverick family.
So yesterday, one of the owners, Dave Belinsky, approached by one of the live streamers out there and encouraged him to talk about where these bins, ultimately birds loaded into disposal dumpsters and then taken from the farm, and they've had people. See, that's why this is not the end with this money shot, such as it is the aerial shot of the carcasses in the field. They had people following the trucks. Because as Dave said, this is our last chance to use the birds as martyrs. Because that's exactly what has been going on from the beginning. It's about the photo op. It's about turning the birds into martyrs, personifying them, turning them into characters, giving them names, making people feel for them emotionally, and following this thing through and like every level, covering every angle and following the dumpsters. Where are they disposing of the birds? Like it's a giant conspiracy, and they have to, this is huge investigative journalism, following the bird carcasses to a landfill or an incinerator or whatever. And as a result, I guess, now I haven't even listened to these clips yet, but these are fairly new. There, at least one person has been arrested, others warned, concerns from RCMP because of what these people are doing. So this was somebody by the name of Hope, I guess one of the activists out there, who has been following, was out there following trucks or something. Anyway, this person was arrested by RCMP. I've got some audio here. Let's have a listen.
Needs to mute so the screen recording is accurate.
Can I have the address, please, everybody?
It's in the chat.
Can I have the address?
Yes, I'm on my way there.
Vancouver landfill. You guys like your job? Do you guys enjoy being here for a bunch of dead ostriches that weren't infected with any disease?
They're splitting up, you guys.
H1N1.
Which one do I follow? The empty one?
Stay on the highway.
Which one should you follow?
Go straight.
The trucks are splitting up.
This one's taking Highway 17.
You see this? The trucks are splitting up. The trucks
This one's going to Vancouver. Should I follow it or not? Which one? Left or right?
No. Right.
Follow it.
Right.
Okay, we're going to follow this guy then. I don't know if he's empty or not. The other one went south towards the border down the highway further. This one says it's going to Vancouver. This one says it's going to Vancouver, North Surrey, Delta,
yeah, he's a fucker.
Vancouver. So
And we left
could be going to Burnaby.
And just to confirm, we did leave people in.
Back on the highway, guys.
Oh, look at this.
They're trying to lose me.
Wow.
They're trying to fucking lose me.
Trying to lose her.
Yeah, fuck you guys. I'm a trucker. You don't know what I'm up to. I fucking got you tagged. He's gonna call the cops on me, though. I guarantee you. He's gonna phone the cops on me.
He's a scared little pussy right now.
Following me. 57th Avenue off of 144. There are cops here. Oh, he's bringing me to the cop shop. That's what he's doing.
No.
Right to the police station. Yeah, he did.
You've got to be
Surrey
kidding
Police
me.
Services. No, that's okay. And that's fine.
Wow.
I'm just going to tell the cop what's going on if he comes after me. He's sitting right there. I'm getting pulled over. I'm getting pulled over. Here it comes. I hope I grab my license. You guys, I'm being arrested. I am being arrested, and I have my service dog with me. I am being arrested for harassing the truck driver and creating a criminal act. I am supposed to call a lawyer right now, and I don't know who to call, and I am worried about my dog. I don't have money to get my car out,
Someone needs to get there.
Where are you?
I'm in Surrey on 144th, and they are pulling me over. They are going to tow my car and probably put my dog in the impound or whatever.
They're gonna release you right away.
Yeah, but
my car. I know. I hear.
I gotta go.
He said,
"Where?" I'm in Surrey.
144th and where?
I was heading to the highway. I don't know. I gotta get up.
140.
Oh, fuck. They pulled her over. They're arresting her. They're saying that they're for harassment.
144 and 72, 144 and 72, just before 72 on the south side. You guys, I got to get off here.
How do you know they're arrested?
Please, please, please.
144.
They said they were. They told me that.
They told you they were
I got to get a lawyer. Yes, he said I'm under arrest. And I was to call a lawyer. He's giving me a moment to call a lawyer. I don't have a lawyer to call, you guys. Oh my God.
Just let them know your legal representation is on its way. Keep calm, Hope. Let them know that your legal representation is on its way. Thank you.
Who's my legal representation?
They don't need to know that. You know they're on the way. Thank you.
Okay, do you have my phone number? 604.
Okay, Hope, I'll be texting you a phone number. That's the person that you need to call, okay?
Okay. My dog, though, my dog.
We're gonna get somebody. We're gonna get somebody there for your dog.
Get your dog.
We got you.
Nobody's gonna steal my dog, right?
Nobody's gonna steal your dog, honey. We got you.
No, we got you.
Okay, I gotta go.
Advocate for your dog to come with you, but we got you.
Stand your ground. We got you. We're proud of you. We will get you. Don't worry. We got you.
I think we've got other video here too. This is the same woman. I think this is an unedited version or a less edited version of the arrest taking place, I believe. Let's let this roll.
Being arrested for harassing the truck driver and creating a criminal act. I am supposed to call a lawyer right now, and I don't know who to call, and I am worried about my dog. I don't have money to get my car out, and all I was...
Someone needs to get there.
Where are you?
I'm in Surrey. Being arrested for harassing the truck driver and creating a criminal act. I am supposed to call a lawyer right now, and I don't know who to call, and I am worried about my dog. I don't have money to get my car out, and all I...
Okay, let me take a break. I'm going to come right back. I shut up.
The information war is raging. Truth without integrity is worth nothing. Maverick News. Because those who have power and those who seek it must be held accountable.
The world is watching.
Join our family of truth seekers. Donate today and add your voice to the chorus of Maverick Knights. Donate at maverickdonations.com. Truth. Integrity. It's the Maverick way. Maverick News. The world is watching.
And it continues. That's, I have to wonder who's going to cover that lady's legal bills. Is the JCCF going to step in on that one? Is there going to be funding for that? You going to help fund that lady's legal defense? Was that necessary? And the truck driver, there's a dumpster driver, right? That guy drives a dumpster truck. You're following that guy, scared. Who's following me? He drives a dumpster truck. Dox him, cancel him, track him down, get a picture of him, put it on the internet. Look, what are you doing? How do you think that guy feels? You have these protesters from this farm that's been getting international publicity because of the narrative that's being spun up. You've seen some of the stuff that's gone on out there. How would you feel if you had a job driving a garbage truck and suddenly you're being tailed by activists, animal rights activists? What's the consequence of that? What impact are you having on somebody else's life when you're doing that? So were the police justified in taking action against that that person in the driving the dump truck doesn't know who's in the car following him, doesn't know why, other than there's this jacked up political movement going on out at this farm, and he knows darn well that when he goes, look, you want to quit your job as the dumpster driver to take a political stand, because tomorrow on Monday, he's going to be making the rounds to businesses in town, just picking up the dumpsters at the fast food joints and the supermarkets and dumping those in the back of his dump truck. This is like a one-off for him. He didn't shoot the ostriches. I'm just saying. Think about the impact you're having on other people's lives. And then, you've got this. You got this other thing. Okay, so you got Chris Stacey. I hate to even talk about Chris Stacey because, in the past, he's done some things and I've thought, good on you for drawing attention to this issue. And he goes out to all these protests. He's become basically a protest reporter in Ottawa, and he covers all these protests. But I've taken exception, honestly, to some of his tactics. He runs into the middle of protests. Took me a little while to realize because of the angles of the camera what he was doing. But he's been, accidentally on purpose inserting himself into protests in order to get sensationalized video and make claims of being assaulted and even doing things with police that sometimes make it look like police are doing bad things. Well, now he's been warned, I guess. Here's him being cautioned by the RCMP, and then we're going to run for you some of the video that led to this, and then you can make your own assessment, okay? But this is getting Chris Stacey more street cred, more clicks, more views, more donations. Even got him an interview with Ezra Levant on Rebel News, I believe today, talking about this and his experience out at the farm, because he's been inserting himself into the story, not just telling the other side of the story. He's becoming the story.
This is recorded live? I hope so.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to read you something.
Okay.
This is going to be a warning for a section of the criminal code.
Okay.
Okay, so section 423.1 sub 1. No person shall, without lawful authority, engage in any conduct with the intent to provoke a state of fear in a justice system participant or military justice system participant in order to impede him or her in the performance of his or her duties.
Okay. Okay. So can you what do you mean by a justice system participant?
So that'd be anybody that's a peace officer.
Okay. So does that law apply to you as well? Because people have been doing that to everyone here, including myself.
I'm not going to speak to that.
Well, who can speak to that? So who sent you here? This is a formal warning?
Yes, that's a formal warning. So should we find more stuff online?
Well, okay. Well, please, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
What online are you referring to?
Everything that we've been seeing online as well.
That you've been seeing yourself?
Yes, I've seen.
Okay, and then explain to me what you've seen.
Constant harassment of members as well as possible doxing.
Doxing?
Yeah.
Explain. I haven't doxed a single person, ever.
Have
you coached anybody, your dog?
Definitely not. I would never do a thing like this. I've been doing this a long time. My work.
Should you continue whatever actions that happen?
Okay, I would like your names and badge numbers. I need cards, and you need to talk to my lawyer. Can you move your radio?
51793. Okay.
So after your guys have been
be found online.
Should what be found online?
If you post my reg number online and encourage people.
I have never done anything like that.
I'm just saying.
Anything that happens in my comment feed has nothing to do with me, for one. I have never done a thing like that. You guys are public figures, and you are harassing and terrorizing people here after a mass slaughter.
All right.
Not all right. No, it's not.
What have I done?
I don't know what you've done.
What have I done?
Your officers have been doing that. Your officers have been doing that. So what, you wait till I'm out and you come sneak up on me on the road, Sergeant?
That's the biggest
you know,
thing
a lot of
today,
people have my
but
number.
I'm figuring out the
Listen,
crime.
Okay, I can't talk to you.
You just rolled up on me and came across the street, right? You have my number. The
And then I
PLTs
gave
all
you-
have my number. Why didn't one of them talk to me?
This is the warning. That's it.
Okay.
I don't know what more you want me to say.
I don't want you to say anything. I want you to think about what you're doing. I want to
Well, I
think
did.
about your
I am.
officers, what they're doing. What you're accusing me of is what your officers have been doing here, and I have hours of video. And that's why you're really here, because your superiors are pissed off. Go after Sergeant Mike Rude, too, and threaten him some more. The guy that your PLTs terrorized and kicked out of the fucking Legion.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you should know. If you know that much about me, you should damn well know what else is going on here, right?
I'm just here to speak to you
Well,
and everybody else.
No, well, other people are here. Anything else to say, Sergeant?
No, I said that we needed this in.
Okay, well then you can disengage then if you've done your work.
Okay, that's fine. 30 of them. It's
Well,
What did the officer say there that was wrong? This is, let me see if I've got the right one here. Yeah, okay. This one first, I believe this is first. This is from November 6th. So this is one of the incidents that led to that warning, which now is being amplified online, and police being portrayed as the villains, Dacey being portrayed as the victim, and they're saying this is like an assault on journalism.
interesting. So we saw what just happened at this gate moments ago. That officer involved doesn't seem to be here now, conveniently enough. I'm trying to listen to this. I'll talk to you after.
Well,
I know who that is, and I'm listening to this, and I'm filming it.
Okay.
I'll talk to you after.
Film it, but
Okay, stop talking over my mic, please.
You just need to step back. And
I am well back from your line.
Okay, well,
I am not crossing your line.
I'd like to cross the line.
You go ahead and cross whatever line you want. I won't do that.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. That's
Can you
good.
please stop following me?
Well, we're just wondering what's going on here.
Get away from me. I don't want to talk to you.
Well, I think you just need to give the officer some space.
I think that they're on their side and I'm on my side, and I think you need to give me some space now.
appreciate
This is
that.
not a consensual conversation. Please back off.
Well, I think what we are
I
just
think
trying
you
to
need
have
to
is
back
a
off.
professional conversation.
You're not at all. You're coming at me. These guys were the aggressive ones, not me.
None of us
I don't know you. If someone that I know wants to talk to me, so be it. But you need to get away from me.
Okay, well, maybe my partner.
Well, maybe, but you need to stop now. There's a lot of victims around.
Sorry, is there something we can help with? I don't know.
Maybe you could stop this bullshit. Like, the bald guy's gone, but he's caused a lot of problems already today. There's a terrorized family trying to get in and out of their property, and they're messing with the girl continuously. Well, I'll show you the video after, when I'm done with this. It's not good. Neither are the hours of video I have showing the exact same thing. I've been told a million times you guys would be briefed that this wouldn't happen. We go through it again and again and again. New officers come in, the same bullshit. Same people get terrorized while their property gets destroyed.
These people here.
Yes. Specifically their daughter. She was here alone for a long time. Now you're messing with him continuously. But you treat her a lot like it's easy to bully the girl, right?
I've never even spoken to her. But
Sure, but I can show you the video of this happening.
Yeah.
Multiple videos. Multiple.
So just so I can make sure I understand, so the issue is that these people want access to their property, but
Yes, they're legally entitled to access.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And
they don't need to be terrorized every time they come through.
And you've seen them be terrorized.
Yes, threatened.
Okay.
What kind of threats are you hearing?
I'll show them to you after. I don't want to speak to you at all.
Okay.
PLT my ass. I've met a lot of other ones. They've been very helpful. You've been the opposite.
We want to help.
Well, it doesn't appear so. Maybe you do, but none of these other officers seem to. They're causing nothing but problems. And she just came out at me and chased me around. This is our side. This is not your operation here, right?
I don't think I was chasing you.
Okay, well, I disagree. If I came at you like that, you would have put me down. Well, you're not. And I don't want to talk to you. I've said multiple times. Okay, so stop engaging me and I can go on about my business. I just told you I don't want to. Can you leave me alone, please? Why do you keep talking every time I finish a sentence? Why do you keep doing that?
My partner would love to talk to you.
Okay, can you stop saying things every time I respond?
Please talk to my partner.
As soon as you stop talking, I will. Then I asked you to stop 30 times. You respond every time I talk. Just stop.
To respond.
Is this how they train you? To spin people up with non-stop conversation? I asked you to stop. I've asked you to stop multiple times.
Okay.
Can you just do it instead of doing it? No, you're not. You're doing it some more. No, you're not. Clearly, you're not.
Sir.
Can you stop?
Yes, I can.
I know what she's doing there.
Okay, I don't want anyone to get riled up.
Well, it's too late. And I'm fine. I'm upset, but I'm okay.
I've talked to you lots. And
Man, look, I'm sure there's a very large file on me. I deal with this shit all the time. I cover the Prime Minister in Ottawa. I deal with his detail. There's never been a problem. I'm non-violent. I've never been an issue.
But he is a little bit upset at the moment.
Understandably.
Everybody could be, which is why there might be some tone in his voice.
Yeah, and I'm not bothered by it.
Oh, good. Well, good. This is very unnecessary, though.
We're
The point is that this is completely unnecessary. This is a very tense situation, and there's certain people here that are making it far worse than it needs to be. Right? I get it. There's people here. Like, if one of us idiots gets too out of line, I'll try to rein them in too, and I'll train to rein myself in. Like,
I know you have, and you've done that in the past.
And as you probably
so I would expect, one second. I would expect that the professionals would hold themselves to a higher standard. And I think the public would expect that as well.
Yeah.
We're not asking for a lot at all. And like, man, we can go through the videos later when it's time.
You want this family to be respected.
Yes, that's all. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. My quarrel isn't specifically with you or any of you guys, but like you keep like, man, this never starts with me.
I know.
Ever.
Yes.
Ever.
Okay. Well.
Anyways.
There's a few people we need to speak.
Sure.
With.
Yeah. Sure.
Do you wanna just
after. Yeah.
But wait, there's more. Yeah, this is what Dacey says. This is round 2. Do I really need to say anything? You can make up your own mind. I can only say I've never spoken to a police officer like that in my life, nor would I ever. And I've dealt with lots of police. I've never had a problem. Like sometimes they don't let me do things that I want to do. They've sometimes said, you can't go in here. You can't cross this line. And I'm like, okay. But you know what I found is if you treat them with respect and you cooperate with them, you get a lot further. And usually, if you go to an accident scene and you have a good relationship with them and you've built up some trust, they'll take you behind police lines and give you access to things. Even to the point where sometimes you get scoops and stories that the other media don't get. But you talk like that and you get more of this.
You're not going to start with me again, are you?
No, you're filming me, so I thought you might want
I'm a journalist. Okay. No, you can't help me. Thank you. Don't start with me again, though, already.
You're filming me. I'm not starting anything.
As is my legal and lawful right.
And my legal and lawful right is to talk.
Sure. 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 Is this a special course you took at PLT school or what?
You're filming me. I don't know what you want me to say.
I'm filming, period. I just walked by and you start beaking off again. The last time I was here, you chased me around this stupid thing. Well, no, it's not okay. It's certainly not okay. And it's not okay for the PLT to be the one.
Was she beaking off? I'm sorry, but oh. Was she beaking off at that point? Did she start beaking off at the ostrich farm? I'll back it up a little bit.
Sure.
Off.
Sure. Sure.
I don't think
Is this a special course you took at PLT school or what?
You're filming me. I don't know what you want me to say.
I'm filming, period. I just walked by and you start beaking off again. The last time I was here, you chased me around this stupid thing.
Oh my God.
Well, no, it's not okay. It's certainly not okay. And it's not okay for the PLT to be the one antagonizing people. For fuck's sakes. Yeah, you are.
That's not my intention.
Well, I find that very hard to believe, particularly after the last exchange. And tens of thousands of people probably already agree.
I can't help you.
You can help by stopping. I am.
Then I feel like it's my right to talk.
Of course it's your right.
Who walked up to who? Who started this whole thing? This exchange? Who started this? Where's she supposed to go? She's just manning her post. I don't get it. Well, yeah, I do, actually. I totally get it.
Yeah, excellent.
Of course.
All right, well, thank you. I appreciate it very
Don't condescend to, man.
condescending.
Yes, you are. You're incredibly condescending.
I can't help that you're interpreting it that way. That is
Stop. Just stop. This will be over if you stop.
Okay, well, I'm...
Okay, as I said before last time, when you continued over and over, this will be over when you stop.
I'm very happy to have a conversation.
I am not interested in conversing with you. You are disingenuous and you've been...
Film me, so I assume that...
Sure, I'm trying to do my job and you're disturbing me and stopping me from doing it. I don't want to talk to you. If you would stop talking to me, I wouldn't have no conversation with you.
More than welcome to come chat with me.
As I just said, I have no interest in chatting with you. I believe you to be disingenuous.
You could walk away anytime. Go ahead.
Of course, I'm going to film you till you're done. I was filming the area.
But on me.
No, I filmed 7 things before my camera came across you. If you think I'm specifically filming you, well, now I am. But only because of you.
That's perfectly fine.
I know it is. I know it's 100% fine.
Okay.
Okay. Alrighty.
Well, thanks so much for your time.
No problem at all. Okay. All right.
Do you have enough for your clip?
I do. But I'm going to keep filming and see what you do.
Okay. I'm here all night.
Oh, perfect. That's wonderful. And this is your first day, is it? No, it's not. Just doing it again. Like, it's not okay. The PLT should be the last person here causing problems. Excuse me, I'm not talking to you. I am, of course I am. I'm a journalist, and you're acting like an out-of-control, untrained, emotionally unstable. I don't know what's wrong with you, but you've got a problem. You're antagonizing people here in one of the most stressful situations imaginable. And your job is literally to do the opposite. Literally. I know.
Yeah, but how can you be cheerful today?
Well, I'm not going to...
You're not being cheerful with me. You're lying. You're outright lying.
This is nothing to be cheerful about. That's actually pretty twisted.
I'm not being cheerful about the ostriches. I'm having a conversation.
You are not having a conversation. Okay. Well, okay. Huh. None of the other officers react that way. Weird. Almost like they were under emotional control. Almost.
Somebody's a little out of control there. Jeez. Do I need to say anything? Yeah, you're losing me on this one. Well, you lost me, honestly, on this one. And that's why. That's why. Because this whole damn thing, the whole damn thing has been dishonest from the very beginning. The whole damn thing has been freaking fake. I have other stuff tonight, but this has taken so long. It's chewed up so much time. None of it really deserves the amount of attention we've focused on it, in my view. And yet we've been forced to do it just because it has been such a successful campaign. Just like an ad campaign, only this one, all designed to achieve a negative result. You've lost me with your bullshit. You lost me with your bullshit. Because the whole damn thing has been freaking fake for the last 11 months and even before. I'll be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern. On the flip side,
Biden's about, Charlie's alive. Elvis flips burgers on the Lower East Side. 10 Trumps mask up on your phone. Shilling mean coins by remote drone. Graphene needles in your veins. Chemtrail sugar fries your brain. George Floyd's American hologram pie. Don't trust your lying eyes. It's all fake. It's all fake. The moon is a hoax. Give your head a shake. It's all fake. It's all fake. Your mama's a lizard. Your daddy's a snake. Bigfoot codes, the Mossad plan. Flat Earth truckers fighting the man. Dinosaurs guard an empty fed vault. Truth is dead and it's the media's fault. Conspiracies are real, let it sink in. Time travel, JFK is president again. 9/11's a VR game. The elite cut deals in the devil's name. It's all fake. It's all fake. From the jab to the pills that you take. It's all fake. It's all fake. The Pope's in a bunker with Q as his mate. Your phone's a snitch. Your dog's AI. The king eats penguins in conspiracy pie. JFK Jr., Cobain, and Tupac. They ain't dead. They're all coming back. It's all fake. It's all fake. Every headline, every handshake. It's all fake. It's all fake. FBI, CIA, KGB, ABC. Are you awake? Don't believe your lying eyes. It's all fake. It's all fake.
This has been a Maverick Multimedia production.